Welcome back, everybody. I'm Brad Brown. That's Joe Lissette. We are here for, well, what is this, round 8
This
now?
is the 8th round,
Round
yeah.
8, Modern. We're going to be watching Matt Hoey on Humans versus Alex Sarver on Crabvine. Both of these players we think are basically playing a win-in
With a redraw if they lose.
for a
Maybe.
potential
If
win.
we think if they win, they're in. If they lose and then win, they have a chance.
They have a chance.
Yeah.
So pretty important matchup or match here. Matt Hoey on Humans. We were kind of just looking at the deck list. 0 copies of Rest in Peace in the sideboard. I think that's definitely going to come into play here.
Several of us talked before the round, or just a moment ago, and all of our opinions are that the Crabvine deck is going to be favored here.
Yep.
And then no Rest in Peace is making it that's tough.
There is a level of fail rate in the Crabvine deck.
Sure.
But that usually comes with some hand disruption in Humans, as we know.
I mean,
short of Kysale Freebooter.
Yeah, melee mages could be.
Melee mage?
We're pausing it for a moment. The players are mulling right now.
Yeah.
It sounds like we are on the way to 5 for Alex, which is probably what Matt needs to have happen.
Yeah.
Maybe the matchup's not as. I'm sure it's not terrible, but it doesn't seem good.
I mean, we've had a couple of matchups today where we said on paper it looks like this deck's ahead, and it went the other way. Certainly, when we talk about whether a matchup is favored or not, we could be talking 2%, 5%. It's really hard to know.
Or we could just be wrong.
Also true.
I feel like
unreasonable.
a vast majority of the time when any given player is talking about a matchup, they're going to inflate their own deck's win percentages by about 15% against anything.
Absolutely right. In fact, Matt and I were having this conversation, I think, last night, where it was like Affinity is favored against Burn, and he's like, every time I play Burn, I lose to Affinity. And I who used to play a lot of Affinity, felt the opposite. Every time I play Burn, I lose to it, which makes me believe it's much more 50-50 than people, I think, give it credit for. And real quick, I just wanted to tell everyone thank you for all the kind words in chat. We do very much enjoy the format and the structure of this tournament, and we hope that it was somewhat easy for you guys to follow, and that video was informative for you guys. And if you have any feedback for us at all, you can send us an email, max@nerdragegaming.com, DM us on Twitter or here on Twitch, and we're definitely interested in hearing it.
I definitely hope that structure video was worthwhile for those of you watching. There were, I'm not going to lie, quite a few takes. But I think all the format videos shot in one take. The structure video took
But to be fair to you, the structure video was very important for us.
Yeah.
And the viewers, I think.
Yeah,
So,
and it was the one that had the most concrete information. That had to be shortest, so we had to tighten it down. But even so, it took us a while.
So here we see Alex playing turn 1. What's the Miller? Merfolk Secret Keeper into a Creeping Chill. So Matt gets to start at 17. How fair. And then Matt's got a turn 1 Vial.
And then in the Hedron Crap. So Alex, on a multi 5, has developed well here, although what he's going to need, I mean, Creeping Chill's nice, but what he's going to need are the creatures that actually hit hard repeatedly.
Well, he's got a Gurmag Angler in hand.
Okay, well, that counts.
Yes,
that
certainly
counts.
That's going to put Matt to the test. Do you have Reflector Mage, and how soon can you get it online?
Yeah. Secret Keeper, kind of a new card.
Yeah.
It's in Throne of Eldraine, another adventure card that is, again, seeing some play, but is not unfair. And that whole mechanic, like we were discussing earlier, they did a pretty good job of powering those cards.
I have been very impressed with the adventure cards. I do think they're overall more powerful than what we've seen in a lot of creatures recently, but I still think that they're fantastic cards.
Secret Keeper, I think, just got a bit of a bad reputation because of the arena bots not taking them, so players were able to acquire more of them in limited than you're reasonably supposed to be able to do.
Sure.
But I'm not aware that was a problem in paper on Magic Online, since it was just the bots that were having difficulty. Other than that, though, the card is a playable card in Modern, and obviously fine in Limited. So yeah, good job.
Okay, so Matt has some play here. So first of all, Alex went ahead and milled, got the Gurmag Angler, left a Gravecaller in the graveyard. Matt does have a Phantasmal Image. One of the plays he could make here is to Phantasmal Image the Gurmag Angler, and that would just be an even trade. Not a whole lot of targeted removal or targeted effects in the Crabvine deck.
No, in fact, I don't believe there is any.
Right.
So yeah, Phantasmal Image is just going to straight copy and stay on the board. But instead, we're going for the slow build. I mean, you have Lieutenant. You want to run it out early.
Yep.
Not typically when there's no other creatures on the board. But Violent Hierarch, in response to the trigger, means we do get at least some use of the first effect.
Well, and I think Matt can take this hit at
Mm-hmm.
least, and that gives him the maximum chance to just draw a Reflector Mage,
Mhm.
and then he can maybe chain the Reflector Mages
Mhm.
with the Phantasmal Image.
All right, so now we have another glimpse. This
Yeah.
is
Glimpse was huge.
yeah, that was
It's 6 damage coming across with those Creeping Chills.
Mm-hmm. And then Amalgam, and that's kind of the recursive creatures. So no Vengevines, but those probably might not be coming back anyway.
All right, what's Matt gonna draw? Another Aether Vial. Not what you want to see in this situation.
Well, it's gonna take some work before that Thalia's Lieutenant can tangle with an Angler.
Yeah. Or even this Amalgam.
Yeah.
Matt can kind of instant speed this Phantasmal Image if he'd like. Which is probably what we're going to see here.
Ooh, is his hand? Is there another land in his hand? I think there might be a cavern. That's
I don't.
Maybe
A
not.
Cavern of Souls, you mean?
yeah.
I'm not sure. I think his hand is. I think his hand is land Phantasmal Image.
Yeah,
though.
that's
I'm not sure what land it is.
rough.
Two Narcomoebas coming.
So tough decision here. Do you copy the Angler and trade right away, or do you
I think we're gonna copy.
beef? Yeah, it looks like we're copying Lieutenant.
the Lieutenant.
Okay, so then we could double block the Angler, I suppose.
You could also block the Amalgam with the now Thalia's Lieutenant is 4/4, and
Mhm.
then just chump the Gurmag Angler with the Phantasmal Image. Your hope here is probably though to find another human, ideally
Yeah.
another image
I mean,
or
or a
Thalia's Lieutenant.
Mantis Rider to block the Narc. And those Narcomoebas are going to end the game, even if Matt's able to grow his creatures up
Correct.
bigger on the ground. Because I mean, with Matt, those 3 Creeping Chills already. That's just, I mean, basically Matt started the game at 11, and that's a rough spot to be in.
Yeah, and even if Matt were to not draw Mantis Rider into draw Mantis Rider, he's still dead to the Narcomoebas. So he needs to be able to block a Narcomoeba this following turn. And that is a lot. He's gone very
Oof.
wide.
Yeah. I mean, that's what this deck's going to do. And this is, I mean, humans is,
Too
no,
late.
that's not going to cut it, yeah. That was really not, that's kind of what I expected the game to go like, and then, although not on a mold of 5.
Well, I mean, Crabvine it does need some pieces, but it does still kind of play like a dredge deck in the sense that you can mold a 5 and still kind of get off the
Yeah.
ground. His hand was very good, though.
It was. He had, what? He had 3 self-mill cards,
Mhm.
Secret Keeper, the Glimpse, and the Hedron Crab.
Yep.
And hit enough stuff. I mean, the Angler
3
and
Creeping
yeah.
Chills. Yeah.
it was more than enough.
So let's learn a bit more about Alex Sarver here. He's 32 years old. He's an electrician from Bloomington, Illinois. That's kind of my neck of the woods. March CT winner. Oh, man, I can't remember what he won with, though. Do you remember offhand? I don't. I should have
I
it
do
written.
not, but
It's written down somewhere.
I wasn't here, so I'm absolved of guilt on this one. It's
Fair.
all you.
Fair. March was so long ago. Anyway, he's got 2 CT top 8s this year. And 1 win, and he's 4-1 versus the field.
That's one of the better records.
Yeah. Oh, Mono Blue Tempo was. Thanks, Jack. And then he's host of the Snapcast podcast. A couple fun facts about Alex here. Uses Mercurian Mass basic lands whenever possible. Loves wearing Jinko jeans in high school, or loved. And he's an avid board gamer. Attends meetup at least once a week.
I had a pair of those jeans.
Jinko jeans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's
Take
my
a-
dynamite drop in on that the note list. All right, so Alex the Cyborg, who I mean he may not need a whole lot here, but we have 3 Fatal Push, those are look good. 3 Nature's Claim, pass. 2 Abrupt Decay, 2 Force Negation, 2 Damping Sphere, and 3 Leyline of the Void.
One, you you get to see your deck list. So
Yeah.
I might want claims if I'm expecting a number of rest in pieces, but there aren't any here.
I
So
thought of the same thing, that the open deck list means that he won't be overboarding, and in the dark he probably would be.
yeah, I agree. This is the general like graveyard strategy consensus is like you should just expect there to be some level of graveyard hate, and you would board in the claims in some number. So I like the Fatal Pushes. I like the Abrupt Decay. I don't think the Forces are necessary, and obviously they're not a matchup for either of these last two
Yeah.
cards. So let's learn some more about Matt Hoey, our 2018 champion.
And 17.
And 17, correct. So he's 28 years old. He's account manager from Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's got 9 CT top 8s, 3 CT wins. He's only 3-5 versus the field.
Is that this year, or it must be just this
Great
year?
question.
Right?
I'd
Yeah.
have to ask Max because he put these stats together. But I would assume you're right.
Yeah, because Matt did not have to qualify this year. He got
Correct.
entry from winning the previous year. Yeah.
He didn't need to play much. He's also a GP Indy team finalist with Joseph Bernal and Andrew Tenjum. Those three tend to go to many team events together. Enjoys poker and corgi watching outside of Magic. Favorite sandwich is a club sandwich with all the meat. And most frequently used emoji is an upside down smiley face.
Now, Corgi's a dog, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure if that was like some kind of Pokemon or something, but I was pretty sure it was a dog.
Sure. Yep. It's a dog. So we kind of talked before we got it when we went live. Auroch champion, protection from black and red, can win via milling your opponent out here just by stalling the board essentially.
I feel like I remember from being teamed with someone in the past in Modern Dredge or Modern Humans against Dredge, and they said my plan for Cyborg games is to win with milling, and it might have worked except ended up a draw because time ran out.
Sure. So we've got 2 collector oofs, not very good here. Caddick T, also not very good. The Deputy Detention, I think, is a fantastic card. Campbell, not really interested. Knight of Autumn, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a
so
4/3,
close,
but
yeah. Plague Engineer, I think, is a likely include, and then some number of Dismember. We did see Gurmag Angler, so I like that one a lot.
Yeah, and then 2 Atmospheres. And yeah, I like Plague Engineer because it can. There are a couple sets of 1 toughness creatures. Knocking out the flyers with an Archimedes would be fine. Grave Crawlers, we could get rid of. I suppose that's it. But getting rid of either set of those would be worth something.
Well, sure, and even just naming zombie and like shrinking the rest of the zombies in the deck is pretty relevant, right? So I do feel like Alex gained a little in the matchup, but Matt did gain a little bit more. But I still feel like the Crabvine is certainly favored.
Yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, the Auric Champions are worth more. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Then the smattering of removal spells that can kill some stuff, but not Auric Champion, importantly.
Right. And the question really comes is, can Matt's deck get his creatures to a high enough toughness to make Alex have to like fly over with Narcomoebas and such, or try to like finish off with just a few creeping chills? So Matt needs to manage his life total, put a bunch of power on the board, and then deal with the flyers. That should be kind of his game plan, I think.
Creeping Chill should be much less significant now. With Matt having life gain.
Sure.
Is it possible Creeping Chill even gets boarded out? Because
Interesting
whereas
question.
even a Narcomoeba can hit for more than 3 damage over the course of a long game, and Creeping Chill's maxed out at 3, and that's it.
And that is usually one of the early cuts because you are expecting some graveyard hate. Now there isn't any here, but you do need to bring in this removal. So I could agree with that for sure. So Jack, I'm gonna call Jack out on this one. Talking in our ear, talking about NFNs of the Foremost. I think it's a reasonable inclusion in humans. I don't know if it's like worth discussing since Matt chose not to bring it, but it is a card that seems a little underplayed in like Pioneer specifically.
Okay.
As a graveyard answer.
I mean, I have seen humans in Modern with a copy of it, like you're saying, but it's I would not go so far as to say it's common.
Right.
Although it certainly would be useful here.
And there are reasons that rest in peace hitting non-creatures are just more important. Things like, is it Phoenix or something along those lines might use some Delve spells where rest in peace is going to be much more valuable.
All right, so Matt has
that's an early fish.
Yeah, Champion and Thalia are significantly outclassed by the Angler right now. Matt knocks the deck, hoping to draw something, and draws a land. Let's see if that's what he actually wanted or not. There's a Mantis Rider, a Deputy, so he definitely needed a third mana source.
Yeah,
Whether he had, yeah, I think that was just that came off the top.
I think he wanted the third mana.
Yeah.
For sure. So he's going to go with Deputy here on the fish. Get in for 4 damages. Alex down to 16.
Well, I mean, we've established more of a board than we did at any point in the previous game for Matt, and he's got more cards coming that will have they can have. It's interesting. He could have, I mean, playing the Deputy to wipe out the Angler. He could have also chose to lead with Mantis Rider and just start attacking earlier. Although
the only downside of that is you have a zombie in play. You're leaving a zombie in play, and there's an amalgam in the graveyard. So if he goes like self-mill hit Gravecrawler, then he gets to like get the amalgams back, and this might put a little bit more effort into it.
Yeah, it's also on second thought, it's actually completely what he did is correct because he actually did more damage. He attacked for 4 on the ground versus 3 in the air.
Sure.
So in fact, my hypothetical choice there was in no way better.
I mean, he would have grown his champion for a turn, so he
Yeah.
gets to attack more for a next turn. It might even it out, but
No, I think it was just good the way he did it. This
but there's
was
the
not,
Gravecrawler I was talking about.
yeah, this was not a great glimpse. I mean, we hit an Archimedes and a Gravecrawler, and I don't think anything else that matters.
Yep, and the prize amalgam will return tapped. So Matt's going to get a good chunk of damage in this turn if he wants it. He does have that Mantis Rider like we talked about. That'd be attack for 3, 5, 8, 9 damage if he wants it. It's a pretty good chunk of damage.
At that point, he doesn't have to worry about.
Now,
at that point, Alex probably can't attack.
There might be a problem here, though. If Matt might have needed to name a wizard in order to cast the Deputy of Detention, and now he can't cast the Mantis Rider. Ah, okay. There is a Ziggurat there, we've been told.
Yep,
So yeah,
so this is a big enough attack where Alex is going to be chump blocking, and then Amalgam's not going to be attacking, and Matt's just going to need a little bit in order to get over the line this game, and the flyer might be enough on its own.
I mean, one more human grows the champion above the Amalgam, and that's gonna be pretty rough for Alex. Gravecrawler is gonna do a pretty bad job at putting up any kind of defense.
I mean, there is the opportunity, though, with the Angler underneath the Deputy for Matt to get ambushed in combat by a removal spell.
True. Which means attacking with just a Mantis Rider might be the play. Now, Alex's hand, as we see, is just a couple of Vengevines. We're going to go on an adventure. There's a Creeping Chill and another Gravecrawler. So that's going to give Alex a little bit of life to play with. Matt is down to 10 already. His Horizon Canopy has been pinging him with his spells.
Yeah, that is significant. Okay, Matt.
We needed to knock the deck, apparently.
Yeah, so that's 2 turns in a row. We got what we wanted the first time, which is 2 turns. We got the land the first time. So yeah, now we went from what looked like a 2-turn clock to now maybe 4 turns.
Right.
Which is much less appealing and probably going to require something else. I mean, we don't have a Hedron Crab, so Alex is going to still need spells from hand in order to mill himself. But his board has grown considerably.
Let's see what Matt can muster up. What he's thinking about here.
I mean, I think it's either Violent Hand, but anything else.
There's a Cavern and I think a Plague. Is that a Plague Engineer?
Well, that would be
Or a
good.
Dismember. I think it's a Plague Engineer.
Okay, so Plague Engineer we could knock out the flyer, or we could shrink the zombies, like you mentioned, for the rest of the game.
Well, with the 2 Gravecrawlers in the graveyard, I am very much on the zombie plan, I think.
Well, we're going to find out. I imagine that's what we're playing here.
Okay, so he does have the Ziggurat to be able to play this Plague Engineer.
And he does take out the flyers.
Okay.
Yeah, so this means this Mantis Rider is going to go uncontested in the air for as long as it lives. Alex will be able to still play his zombies, but a lot of them can't block anyway. So if Matt's thinking about, the plan's gonna be race in the air, then
Right.
this is where we're gonna go. Now, any more creeping chills will be devastating. I don't know if Matt could survive another one flipping over.
I think that was another Gravecrawler was the draw. So hand is 2 Vengevines, a Narcomoeba, which he can play the Narcomoeba, but it'll die immediately.
Well, with the Vengevines, Matt's low enough that even just land hardcast Vengevine 2 turns in a row is pretty significant. But the 4th land does not appear to be in Alex's hand.
I mean, Matt's got a pretty good defense going for that. And the Plague Engineer could block one of them.
Sure, but then once that happens, then the Narcomoeba in hand. We don't really want to give up. Matt has.
I'm not saying he should block with the Plague Engineer.
Matt has
yes.
a lot of 5 creatures on the board, but most of them really he doesn't want to have in combat. He's obviously not going to block with Mantis Rider. Plague Engineer, I think he doesn't want to use. Same for Deputy. So really, I think Thalia is the primary blocker here, unless we're just trading Champion off. I think if Amalgam attacks, I think I might get through.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe we just don't even block.
Yeah.
So there's a Gravecrawler. We're going to cast another one from the graveyard. Matt draws for the turn. I believe it was another copy of Horizon Canopy. And now a blue card. Is that a Phantasmal Image?
That would be excellent.
It is a Phantasmal Image.
That's going to mean that even a drawn removal spell is not going to
be enough.
Save Alex. Yeah, so this might
and there's the Abrupt Decay.
This might be over with. If that decay had been there a turn earlier, then this image really wouldn't have amounted to a whole lot. I guess we could have deputied some more stuff or played another Plague Engineer, but
yeah, he might have been able to gum up the board if he was able to get that Mantis Rider last turn.
As it is, I
think. But then if you copy Plague Engineer named Zombie that time, now your attacks are looking pretty good. So I think Matt was still pretty far ahead. Even if he drew the decay, but so let's kind of evaluate what Matt had to do this game to kind of have this outcome. It was kind of what we said, right? He built a big champion, made attacks awkward for Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Alex had a slightly slower start, allowing Matt to keep up on his creature count, and then he flew over with these Mantis Riders.
Really, it was the flying. The flying matters a lot.
Yeah. Mantis Rider is one of those cards that when it was in Standard, everyone, it was played, it was very good, but it was one of those cards I wasn't quite sure if it'd make it into the Eternal formats, and I love that it's played in Humans.
Sure. Those 2 Gravecrawlers attacking and just dying for nothing, that...
they can't block.
No, I understand, but that still means they have to be recast, and...
Yeah.
I guess that...
Trying to bluff, maybe Matt doesn't block, and then he can somehow get a Creeping Chill.
Yeah, and if Avengevine somehow finds his way in the graveyard, then the Gravecrawlers are, better off where they are now.
That's the thing about this Crabvine deck, though. There aren't many ways to discard cards, right?
Mm-hmm. No, there aren't. I'm not sure there are any.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
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 So Matt appears to have the win on the board here, unless Alex has both an Abrupt Decay and a Fatal Push. I'm not sure anything else is going to save him. And he doesn't. He has Abrupt Decay, but...
He shows the Narcomoeba hey, I couldn't cast this even though I wanted to.
Yeah, see, I would never do. I don't want my opponents to feel good about their choices. I want them to, wonder, because maybe next turn they'll do something different. Playing that Plague Engineer on Narcomoeba definitely worked out in Matt's favor. Really, I want my opponents to. I don't want them to have high self-esteem. I want them to question what they're doing, make mistakes, overthink things. Not gonna.
I feel like I'm in the minority with a lot of this stuff. I'm such an honorable person when I play Magic. I want to have a nice, fair game. I want to have a good time. I care about my opponent.
I don't think that me saying I want my opponent to have to doubt and question their plays and then eventually lead to me crushing them, that makes me dishonorable. No, I don't think so.
No, I wasn't trying to.
I believe you said
I'm in the
I'm in the
minority.
minority and
Right.
that I'm honorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to be honorable.
I see.
Not that I am honorable.
I see.
But my point is that. So I'm not saying that what you're doing is dishonorable.
That's what it
but-
sounded like.
Sure. Which in that case I apologize. But what I am trying to say is that
Do you see me turning my head away from you? Chat, I'm turning my head
I
away.
want
This is
all-
me snubbing you.
I want both players to walk away thinking we both played the best possible Magic we could, and Brad just outplayed me. That's what I want the feeling to be walking away from an event.
But if someone was outplayed, then could they have been playing their best possible Magic?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what you're saying is then
So
we both played as best we possibly could, but you outplayed me. That means my skill cap just got in the way because I'm not good enough.
yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to be better than the other person in the sense that exactly what you said. I have better skill. Maybe I put more time in, more time with my deck, whatever it was that gave me that increase in the skill cap. But yeah, I enjoy when basically I know my opponent brought their best game and I brought my best game and we had a victor.
And yeah.
And some of that can come from variance too, which is why Magic is a great game.
Yeah. I mean, that is important. The variance, I mean, it's easy to complain about the variance, but if there's no variance, then you have chess, which is also a great game, but very different.
Right. So thinking about sideboards here, I don't think of any.
I mean, I don't
any
think there's
additional card play draw.
I don't think play draw is going to make a difference here. I think Matt is going to just. I mean, he's bored in, like we said. We didn't see an Oriak champion that game,
No,
and
we
he still was
didn't.
able to pull it out.
Yep. So again, thinking about Matt's path to victory, I think step 1, keep your life total high.
Yeah.
Make it so those creeping chills don't matter.
Yeah.
2, build a big board of toughness.
Sure.
3, that's the second point's important to stall out the game, so that number 3 is you win with your Mantis Riders.
Right. Yeah.
That's
The flying. I agree with your 3 points. Life total, toughness, and flying.
Yep.
Alex, both players going to 6. It looks like.
And I think that favors Alex. I think his deck is going to perform better on the mulligan, just because he uses his graveyard as a resource, where Matt's reliant on his actual draws.
I would definitely agree with you if there were dredgers. Since there are no dredgers and it's one spell at a time to put cards in Alex's graveyard, I still think I agree with you, but I'm not as confident.
Sure. Okay, that's fair. That's a fair point. Absolutely.
Aside from Hedron, like if Hedron Crab being the only one that is a repetitive source of milling.
Right.
So I mean, on 6 cards, is Alex keeping 5 land in the Hedron Crab?
Wow. I mean, looking at these lists, I would kind of almost like he's got a couple dismembers.
I mean, and Reflector Mages, which is yeah.
You're gonna get.
I think I would.
I would probably.
I think I would have a hard time mulling,
especially on the play.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he knows how his deck works, and maybe his deck performs very well on 5 in general. But 6 land or 5 land Hedron Crab is. I mean, it probably isn't great, but is it capable? It might be.
Do you see Matt's hand right now? I'm
did
pretty
not.
sure there's an Auric champion, at least one in the list in his hand, plus a Phantasmal Image.
Okay. And
I think he's got different art ones, and I think it's 2 Auric champions and a Phantasmal Image.
And Alex is going to 5. What is it today with people? Actually, I take it back. It's not people. It was Matt Hoey both times. Legacy, he was playing 11 different basic planes in his deck, it seemed like. And then here we have different pictures of Auriak champion.
So I had a conversation with some of the players about this off round, which is that, finding 3 decks for an event can be difficult.
Sure.
So usually you're just borrowing from whoever's going to lend you cards, and sometimes that means you get one Auric champion from one friend and another Auric champion from another.
I thought this justification was going to be for his 11 different basic planes.
No,
because
there's no justification.
Basic planes are hard to find card. But no, okay. Or a champion, sure.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. The planes was him just being a troll.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
All right. So if he's thought for a while on his 6th and kept it, and based on the cards you said then, and yet it was still a tough decision, then it's probably because it's land light.
That's what I'm thinking too. He might be missing that double white.
Mm-hmm. Although if he's missing the double white, yeah, but if he's missing the second source total, then that's really risky.
It does look like
there's a
he
Ziggurat,
has
I
2
think?
lands.
Okay, well then he's going to be certainly stable on the ground.
All right.
Alex is on 5, I think.
Alex going to shock into self-mill for 4. It's Gurmok Angler. There's a Creeping Chill.
Chills get worse, I think, when you're on fewer cards because you're not going to be able to mount as much pressure to really capitalize on it.
I do agree. Alex does have a copy of Fatal Push in his hand. Picks up another copy of Secret Keeper. Here's another mill for 4. No real key cards
that
here.
That was 8 cards milled, 1 chill, which isn't crucial right now, and 7 blanks.
Yep.
And this will undo the chill all by itself.
Here's Auric Champion number 1.
And Alex,
Does he have a copy of Gurmok Angler?
Oh, Alex didn't have another land.
Right. I think he has a Gurmok Angler. Well, at least he can deploy that. Unfortunately, he didn't have a second land last turn, or he could have deployed it. So Alex may have kept his hand because he had a big 5/5 and just hoped to hit that second land.
I mean, two mill cards and an angler. I mean, that's on 5. That's
Definitely
fine. I mean, you're not going to go to 4 on that. But this champion is going to be quite a nuisance.
He's got champion into a noble here, so he's gaining 3 life this turn. And these champions block very well.
And they attack okay too. Yeah, and there's a deputy in his hand, I think.
Yeah, now they attack for 2. So
yeah.
Or at least one of them does. Yeah, he does have a deputy. He has that phantasmal image we talked about.
Yeah,
can
Matt
make
Hoey's
a third one.
Side of the board looking quite good right now.
And that might be where Matt was with this list. Is saying, I don't need Rest in Peace if I just play with 4 Archery Champions because all of the graveyard decks are black-based anyway.
That is true. There's no conflict greed to just make huge shots to the face, and chills aren't adding up to it. I mean, Alex does draw the second land, so he's still in the game, even though there's not going to be an answer to. I don't think these champions can be answered, right?
I don't think so either. I mean, the Decays don't do it. The Fatal Pushes don't do it.
Vengevines and Narcomoebas can block. Or I guess Secret Keepers can block them.
Prize Amalgam.
Yeah. So we.
Or not Prize Amalgam. Sorry. Vengevine is what I was trying to say.
So Vengevine can attack through them, and we have a number of creatures that can actually block them. Basically forever. But we're having a glimpse of the thing over here. 10 cards go in, and that wasn't a great 10 cards either.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, Alex is going to hit a nice little stockpile. So, looking at Auric Champion here, it's a white 1/1 protection from black and from red. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain 1 life. So, no pro-green here. So, that's kind of what we're mentioning. The Vengevine's able to get through. Maybe the Narcomoebas can swing over for 1, but that does not sound good.
It's kind of interesting here. Matt Hoey, just the way the cards line up, he has Reflector Mage in hand. He could bounce the Gurmok Angler and attack for 2, or he could not even bother playing it and attack for 2. And defensively, it's the same because he can block it for free anyway.
Right.
So it actually accomplishes nothing.
I think we're going to see Auric Champion make
number 3
with his Phantasmal Image. And that's going to gain 2 more life from Matt. And then we'll deploy Athalia. Gain 3. At what point do you just put, Aetherworks Reservoir in your deck? Just like 40.
Whoa. That's the one where you get to 50 life and then blast them?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that cannon in Star Wars last night.
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't know what's necessary there, and I don't know if it's necessary here either.
Probably not.
It's cool to see though.
Alex is in a tough spot, I would say.
Yeah, by a squadron of 1/1s.
Yeah. Yeah. One of them attacks for 2. Oh, somebody said no spoilers, Joe. That's a good point. People might not have seen Star Wars yet.
Yeah, absolutely, they might not.
Be a little careful.
I think that was pretty careful. I think it was pretty safe.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So you're saying he shouldn't play around the decidedly not human engineer? Big laser gun in Star Wars is a
Yes,
spoiler?
I was going to say, I was thinking about how I could rephrase this and to emphasize how safe that was. There, for those of you that have not seen Star Wars, there are laser cannons in the movie. So you heard it here last.
And all right, so now we're going to cast some 04s.
Well, at least
they block.
they block. Yeah. I mean, that's something. I mean, we have to. We're actually behind. We're losing the race right now, even though the creatures on Matt Hoey's side,
Funnily,
I think total add up to a gourmet angler. But it's still
Matt can still
it's a
attack
threat.
for 2.
Yeah.
He just has to attack with all of his Auric champions. There will be a little bit of a crackback for 5, but when you're gaining 3 life off every creature, how much do you really care?
Yeah.
The Stalia blocks the Gravecrawlers pretty well.
No, your Star Wars canon plan, I forgot the actual card name,
Aetherworks Reservoir?
Aetherworks Reservoir
I think
is
that's what it's called.
becoming more and more realistic here.
There's a 4th. I mean, I think he's going to get to 50 life this game. I
think,
really do.
I think he is too. I mean, he's not even getting attacked.
Right.
And both players are contributing to the board, so yeah, I think he will too.
I mean, this is a phantasmal image. Gains 3 more to 41. Oh, just gonna pass. You think Matt's setting up for the mill at this point? He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna mill him out.
Maybe he keeps really close track of his history of Magic, and he's trying to go for his all-time high life total.
That doesn't sound like Matt. I'm gonna be honest with you. That does not sound like Matt. All right, pop a Horizon Canopy, picks up a Reflector Mage. There's the Mantis Rider. So, again, kind of playing into the game plan that we talked about. Keep the life total high. He's got that covered.
Yeah.
Ground is covered
Yeah.
with all the Auric champions. And now fly over with the Mantis Rider.
And Alex, down to 9. It's not going to take very long.
Well, and he has a Fatal Push, but he doesn't have a way to turn on Revolt
Oh, my
right
goodness.
now. He could attack with a Gravecrawlers.
Oh, that's true. Although Matt can probably afford to take a hit.
I think the smart play would definitely to not block.
See, now, there's a reason why Alex's deck should have a ninja. That way, Matt would be incentivized to block, and thus
Sure.
Alex could get more of his stuff going.
Is there a green ninja where he could like block with champion, and you could be like, "Hey, I'm gonna put in a green card and kill
There's no green ninja. Nope.
Yeah. Watch it get on that.
Animated trees walking around are not stealthy.
Yeah. There's elves, sir.
Okay, sure. There
Elves
can
are
be stealthy.
certainly
Yeah.
stealthy.
Yeah. All right. Matt Star Wars Canon Hoey here at 53 life is looking good. Ooh, is that second hierarch?
That's
in
for 5 now.
5.
Yeah, that's gonna be game.
Are we donezo? Maybe not. Maybe Alex has something.
And he was thinking, maybe I could rewind and kill a noble, but that's not gonna
I hope
work.
that wasn't the plan.
I think he just didn't realize he was gonna take 5.
Yeah.
Until it was too late.
And that's it. So Matt Hoey wins. Not as stylish as what's the name of the card? The Star Wars
Aetherworks Reservoir.
Aetherworks Reservoir. Okay. But still, he gets the job done. I'm sure he doesn't really mind how he won.
So I just want to point out, going into this, every single person
that's
was
very
like,
true.
Crabvine's gonna win this one. Easy.
Yes.
And, I think it's the famous like
we didn't even consider it. We're like, all of us.
Yeah.
Everyone thought so. And yeah, it was.
I was deceptively silent. I was thinking Crabvine. I just didn't say it.
So Matt Hoey now we believe
He is the winner of this pod.
Yes, he will. Yeah, he will win. So he will win his modern pod, and
that'll earn him 3 points.
Right, which will bring him up to 6, and we think that is
right.
We think that's enough.
So just to recap, going into the stage, Lewis Kaplan, Grant Wozniak were both at 6 points. We think that 6 points is enough. Basically, if you win 2 pods, we expect you to top 8. Because that means you went undefeated in 2 formats. And then we have a bunch of 3s who could potentially win their pod and jump to 6 and then get in. Now, a lot of those 3s were paired against each other, the way our structure works, because you pod by standings at the end. So only maybe 1 or 2 of them, of the 3-pointers, will actually be able to jump to 6. And it does look like Matt Hoey
is one of them.
Is going to be one of them, yeah.
So good for him. He started out 1-2 in Pioneer, I believe. And was able to pull it together. So
well, and what
nice.
I love about the structure in this format is that every stage matters and important. So you can start on 1-2 and still make the top 8. In most systems you can.
Yeah.
But
I do. Yeah, and I like that each stage is worth the same.
Yes.
As the other 3.
Right.
As the other 2.
There's no drawing in the last few rounds, which makes that stage less important. No unintentional draws in the format.
Yeah,
so.
all 3 stages weighted the same, and for tomorrow, also all 3 stages are weighted the same. which is cool and often not the case in top 8s of events,
Right.
even in multi-format events.
Yeah.
So good for him. And we believe that Alex is not eliminated yet. I mean,
Right.
he can play the last round, and we think if he wins, he's probably in the tiebreaker battle to get in at the bottom of the top 8.
Yep, we're expecting all the 6s to make it, and then potentially it really just like we had a number of 5s coming in. We maybe one of those wins their pot and jumps to 8.
Sure.
It's a little tough to say, but we think some number of 5-pointers can make it, and Alex should certainly be understanding of that and
In the running, yeah.
obviously play your best all the time.
Yeah.
But
And for the players, even for the players that are not, they're slightly lower down, there's still value to be played for every round of the event.
yeah, we are paying out from 9 onward, 9 to 24, based on your overall win or your points.
Points, yeah.
So you always want to be playing your matches so that you can get as many points coming out of a pot as you can, and that's what keeps it interesting. I think last year that was one of our big learnings, and we were able to implement this year. And I still appreciate that we all got on a call, and we talked about this a lot this year. Like
We did.
constantly. How are we going to do champs? What's the format? How do we fix the problems from last year?
Yeah.
And I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think we did too. I think we accomplished some of our main focuses of having the formats equivalently valued to each other.
Yeah.
And we did that. And we had all the rounds matter. And we did that, and there are some and there's been ongoing discussions today too. I mean, tournament design, like there's different ways you can go, different things you can say. I want to accomplish this, and there's trade-offs.
Right.
And this event probably isn't perfect, but I think we improved upon last year. And
And I think even the discussions we've had today, we've already thought of ways we can improve it next year, which is great. And sometimes since we only do these once a year, it's a long time between improvement. But I wonder if there is a way to run an event just like this naturally. I guess it always have to be 16, 24 players though, which is
maybe.
kind of small event. I don't know.
Yeah. It was fun though. Okay, so
but if you have feedback on the structure, head on over to twitter.com/NRG series. Give us some feedback there. You can also reach out to us on Facebook, and then check us out on YouTube and Instagram. Again, that's NRG series, all one word. Also check out nerdragegaming.com. You can find a structure article there as well. And we'll be posting, I think all of our deck lists are there. And if you want to find out more information about our upcoming events next year.
Yeah, there's some wild deck lists in this grouping that are definitely worth looking at.
And we'll run through this quick. So season 1, these are going to be our 4 dates, culminating in the showdown on April the 4th. You can see January 11th and 12th will be our next one. That'll be at Gurney, Illinois at a water park. And that'll be Saturday. It's a $5,000 trial in Modern. And then Sunday, the same thing, but will be Legacy.
So I've been to a fair number of tournaments around the country and in some other countries.
Okay.
Nerd Rage is the only company I'm aware of that features Magic events that take place at water parks.
That's true.
I feel like that's really a strong selling point.
So what's funny is like I had a conversation with Norm about our overall size, and we actually did this over lunch, which is that like we're growing into that like medium size tournament, right? Like we're not quite 6, 7, 800 players,
right?
Where we need a huge convention hall, so we get to do fun things like put it at a water park, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely we've outgrown the store.
Yeah.
For events, but we're not, in baseball stadiums. And
one day that would be nice.
And so, we're in the middle ground.
Yeah.
And that apparently is water parks.
Yes.
Now, from California, I didn't know that. And I've gone through this before, so I'm not going to go through it again on previous events. But
it's indoors. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the indoor. And if you're watching from California or somewhere else in this,
warm.
This warm, yeah. The water park's indoor, which who knew?
Yeah, it's a pretty big thing here in the Midwest for families. So, I encourage you guys to check that out. And if you can't attend, make sure you follow us here on Twitch.
Also, if you're watching in California or perhaps somewhere other places warm, you may not know, because I didn't really for a long time, the Midwest is actually not where you might think it is. I've had this conversation with people since I've been coming here, and I'm not the only person that didn't know.
It's not the middle
because sometimes
of the West.
Sometimes when it's something stupid like this,
yeah.
I'm the only person that didn't know. Like pickles and cucumbers not being actually different food items.
Right.
Everyone knew except me.
Okay.
In this case, other people didn't know, so I felt better.
Right.
The Midwest is actually like cut the country in half, then go to the east,
Yeah.
and you're in the Midwest.
That's absolutely right.
But that's where we are.
Well, it's because there's this huge actual Midwest area where there's just nothing. And I think Chicago was like, you know what, we're gonna make ourselves the Midwest.
I guess that's what happened.
I don't know what.
Anyway,
exactly
that's where we are. And if you're in the Midwest anywhere, you could probably within range of some of the events that take place on this series, because we have events
definitely.
now in
6 states next year.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty exciting.
yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for round 9, and you can catch all your Midwest facts here at NRG Series. See you guys soon.